we do What If? Female Deku was the reincarnation of Elizabeth Midford from Black Butler, Part 1. So let's start! When Izumi was born, her parents were quite surprised because she had golden blonde hair and emerald green eyes. They didn't really pay much mind to it and thought it was just her quirk. Inko had the quirk enchantment, which basically lets her enchant anything. But it was only a weak version. It's pretty weak. Well, Hisashi's quirk is called Blacksmith. He can create any weapon or armor he wants. Thanks to that, he has a support tank company, and it's pretty rich. Growing up, Izumi would love fencing. From a very young age, she really like fencing, and she joined fencing classes, and she was the top student from a young age. She was a prodigy. So yeah, let's say that that people get their quirks when they're 5 years old. So yeah, Izumi is 4 years old and she beat an opponent. She was doing flips and she was using her size as an advantage. So yeah. So let's skip to when Izumi had her quirk. The doctor would be impressed and said, "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Midoriya. I'm happy to announce that your daughter, Izumi, has a really powerful combination of both your quirks. She can basically summon any weapon or armor. And she can enchant them. It's really strong, and she'll be a great hero one day." As Hisashi and Inko would thank the doctor and leave. Let's do a couple years later. She's 10 now. Izumi would be really good with swords. When she's fencing, it looks as if she's dancing. She's as graceful as a ballerina. At the day of August 24th, the Midoriyas decided for both their children to meet. CL's parents, a family, and the Midoriyas wanted both of their children to meet. Midoriyas are very close friends with another family. And yeah. The family would say, Inko would say, "Izumi, we'll be having guests tomorrow, so please be good." As Izumi would say, "Yes, mother," as she would give a gleaming smile. Let's skip to the next day. Izumi would wait with her parents when the guests will arrive. The guests will arrive, which was CL and his parents. As they would walk. Inko and Hisashi welcomed them with warm arms, and Elizabeth saw CL and said, "Hello, I'm Elizabeth." She would say, "Hello, I'm Izumi Midoriya. What's your name?" As CL would say, "I'm CL. It's nice to meet you." As Izumi would say, "Nice to meet you too. Come on, let's go to my room." As they would go to Izumi's room, and they would play. Izumi would ask, "What was his quirk?" CL would say, "My quirk is summon. I can basically summon knights, butlers. I can basically summon weapons, fairies, dragons, friends? And Elizabeth would say, "That's so cool! Your quirk is amazing!" As Ciel would say, "What about yours? What's your quirk?" As Izumi would say, "My quirk is an enchanted blacksmith. Whatever weapon I also desire, or any armor I also desire, I can enchant it. For example, I can make a sword that can erase quirks. I can create a shield that can reflect anything. I can create an axe that can go back to me." As he would say, "Wow, that's so cool!" As Izumi would say, "I know, right?" As growing up together, Izumi and Ciel would be really close. Ciel would have a little crush on Izumi. Izumi has a little crush on Ciel too. Now they're 11. It's February 24th, the day of the accident. So, Izumi was in her room. She was sleeping and heard some ruckus. As she went downstairs, she saw both of her parents and two men in black, pointing a gun to both their heads. Izumi would jump into action and would slash the guy with her sword that's pointing the gun to her father's head. By instinct, the guy would shoot her mother's head, and her mother would just lie there in her lifeless body, as the guy that shot her mother would escape. As the other guy that tried to shoot her father was knocked out. Izumi would cry tears, and she would keep on saying, "If only I was there! If only I was there! If only I was there earlier! If only I was quicker! I could have saved Mother!" As Hisashi would come to her and say, "It's not your fault, dear. It's not your fault. It never was." As Izumi would say, "No, it's my fault. It's my fault. If only I was there faster. If only I was there. If only I was faster. If only I was there sooner. Mother wouldn't have died." As she would still cry. And then she would pass out. Hisashi would carry her to her bedroom, and he would call the police and tell the police everything that happened. The police would feel sorry because the mother because Inko and Izumi had a really close relationship or bond. The next day, Ciel and his parents would arrive. Hisashi and Ciel's parents would have a talk. While Elizabeth was still in her room crying, Ciel would ask, Izumi would still be crying in her room. "I'm sorry for the background noise, guys. It's raining." So yeah. So Hisashi would tell Ciel that Izumi was in her room. And as Ciel would open the door, he would see Izumi crying and saying, "If only I was there sooner. If only I was faster. I could have saved Mother." And she would cry. Ciel would say, "Izumi," as Izumi would look at her best friend Ciel and said, "Ciel?" As Ciel would hug her and said, I heard about everything. I'm sorry about your loss." As Izumi would say, "It's not your fault, it's mine. I could have been faster, I could have came there sooner." As Ciel would say, It's not your fault. It was the robber's fault. Okay? It's not your fault your mother was dead. It's that guy's fault for shooting your mother. As she would say, I guess you're right. But I can't get over the fact that she died. Let's go over to Hisashi and Ciel's parents' point of view. Hisashi would say, I'm worried about Elizabeth. I'm worried about Izumi. She has been in her she has been in her she has been in her room all day. She won't come out. She won't eat breakfast. She won't stop crying. I'm really worried. As Ciel's parents would say, as Ciel's mom would say, Hisashi, maybe you could let her go outside more. Maybe she could socialize and have a good social life. Maybe she would be happier. Like that. Hisashi would say, but I'm worried for my little girl. I don't want her to get hurt. And Ciel would say, which one would make her happier? Her freedom? Or being cooped up in here? And Hisashi would think, and let's get back to the two. Ciel would hug Izumi and said, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry. As Izumi would freeze for a moment and because of the sudden movement, and she would hug Ciel back, saying, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. As she would melt into the hug. The next month, Izumi would see. Over the month, Izumi and Ciel would try to cheer Izumi up, which slowly but surely works. After 4 months, Izumi's mental state became better and was stable now. She was now the same old Izumi, but a little bit more sad and a little less energetic. This was a Sunday night. This was a Monday night. Now let's go to the morning. It was this Monday morning, and Hisashi would say, Izumi, wake up! Izumi, wake up! As Izumi would wake up and see her father right next to her. She would ask, Father, why are you here? I thought you had a business meeting. As Hisashi would say, do you want me to wake you up for your first day of school? As Izumi would say, school? As Hisashi would say, I enrolled you to the same school as Ciel. So, would you like to go there? As Izumi would say, yes, father, thank you very much. As Izumi would get ready for school. And she would see outside the living room. Ciel was waiting for her and said, will you go to school with me, my lady? As Izumi would say, knock it off, Ciel. Come on. As Ciel and Izumi would hop in the car and the driver would drive them to school. This school was the school where Tanya Ida was in. Okay? So that will be the school that Ida was in. So, yeah. Let's say that Ida and Izumi and Ciel were in the same class. Ida, Ciel, and Izumi were in the highest class. And Izumi was homeschooled and she was very smart. As the teacher would say, welcome class, today we have a new student. As Izumi will walk in and say, "Hello, I'm Izumi Midoriya. I like fencing and cute things like bunnies and cats. I also like reading novels," as she would say, in a cheerful tone. As the teacher would say, "Do you have any questions?" As Ida would raise his hand and say, "What's your quirk?" As Izumi would say, "My quirk is enchanted blacksmith. Any weapon I forge or create, or any armor I forge or create, I can enchant it to have powers. For example, I can create a sword that can eliminate quirks or disable quirks. I can make an axe that if I throw it will always come back to me. I can make a shield that can reflect damage. I can make a shield that can reflect attacks." Everyone is amazed, and Sia would say, "Hey Zumi, would you like to sit right next to me?" As everyone would be shocked because Sia never really gave a smile before in class. As Izumi would say, "Sure, Ciel." As Izumi would sit right next to Ciel. And the teacher would say, "Okay, so I'll leave you guys to socialize." Izumi and Ciel would talk about topics and whatever. As Ida would come up and say, "Izumi, hey Midoriya, I have a question." As Izumi would say, Yes, what do you need?" As Ida would say, "How do you know Ciel? And I didn't even know that Ciel would smile like that." As Izumi would say, "Wait, Ciel's my childhood friend. I mean, she would say, Me and Ciel have been friends for a year now." As she would say, "This was the start of a new year. Okay?" So that's basically it. Ida, Ciel, and Izumi would begin to talk, and yeah, surprisingly, they all got along well. Now, let's skip to when they were in middle school. Ciel and Izumi and Ida are pretty great friends. So yeah, the teacher would say, "Okay, so we have 3 students going to UA the teacher would say, "Okay, so you guys sign these papers and see what you're going to do for your future. So you will write what school you're going to and fill in those questions." And as they were all done, as the teacher would collect their work, the teacher would say, "Oh, we have 3 students going to UA this year. Izumi Midoriya, Tenya, Ida, and Ciel." As they would all stand up and say, "That's right, teacher." And the teacher would see they're not going to do the recommendations because they want to prove that they are good enough. So yeah. So Ciel and Izumi would train for the 10 months, and that's where I'm going to leave off, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and that's basically it. So make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my content. And this is where Ellie signing off. So see you in the next video. Bye, guys.